You have heard the names, the seer, the wounded healer, the hermit, the exile, but names are abstractions. And the INFJ does not live in abstraction. The INFJ lives in moments, in the specific weight of a room that shifts when you enter it, in the exhaustion that arrives at 7 in the evening for no reason you can name, in the way you know things before you know how you know them. This video is not about what the archetypes mean. It's about what they feel like, because until you recognize the pattern in your own body, it remains a theory. And you have had enough theories about yourself to last several lifetimes. This is what it feels like to be the seer. You are at a dinner party. A friend has brought someone new, someone they are clearly excited about. The new person is charming, attentive, saying all the right things. And you feel it immediately, something behind the eyes that does not match the mouth, a slight hunger in the attention that is not about your friend at all. You cannot name it precisely. You could not defend it in court. But you know with the certainty of a closing door that this will end badly, that in 6 months your friend will be crying in your kitchen saying, "I should have seen it," and you will not say what you are thinking, which is, "I did see it. I saw it the first night. I told you in every way I knew how without saying the words, and you did not hear me." This is the seer's daily bread. Knowing and not being able to transfer the knowing. Watching the future arrive on schedule whilst others act surprised. This is what it feels like to be the wounded healer. You are sitting with a friend who is falling apart. They have not asked for advice. They are just talking, just letting it spill, and you are holding it, all of it. The grief and the rage and the shame they cannot look at directly. You feel it enter you like the weather. By the time they leave, 2 hours later, they are lighter. They hug you at the door and say, "I don't know what you did, but I feel so much better." And you smile, and you close the door, and you slide down the wall and sit on the floor of your hallway, hollowed out, carrying something that was not yours to begin with, wondering why the thing you do for others so naturally is the thing no one seems able to do for you. This is the wounded healer's inheritance. The strange asymmetry of being the vessel that pours out but rarely fills. This is what it feels like to be the hermit. You have plans tonight. You have had plans for a week. You were even looking forward to them. And then the afternoon arrives, and something in you simply refuses. It is not anxiety exactly. It is more like your entire system saying no. Like a door closing inside you that you did not know was open. You cancel. You make the excuse, the same excuse you have made a dozen times before, and you feel the familiar mix of relief and shame. Relief because you are free. Shame because you are always doing this. You spend the evening alone, reading, thinking, or simply sitting, and it is exactly what you needed. But beneath the quiet is a question you do not like to ask. Am I honouring something real, or am I simply disappearing? This is the hermit's perpetual negotiation, the constant discernment between sacred solitude and slow-motion withdrawal from life. This is what it feels like to be the shapeshifter. You are at work, in a meeting, being the version of yourself that this context requires. Competent, agreeable, professional, smooth. And someone makes a joke that you find genuinely unfunny, perhaps even slightly offensive, and you laugh anyway. Not a fake laugh, a real laugh. You have become so skilled at producing the appropriate response that your body does it automatically. Later, alone, you try to remember what you actually thought of the joke, what you actually felt. You cannot locate it. It is somewhere beneath the performance, but the layers have grown so thick that you are no longer sure how to reach it. This is the shapeshifter's quiet crisis, the accumulated weight of adaptation, the suspicion that you have translated yourself so many times that you have lost the original text. This is what it feels like to be the exile. You are at a gathering of people who love you, family perhaps, or old friends, people who would say, if asked, that you belong here, that you are one of them, and you are watching yourself from slightly outside your own body. Participating, saying the right things, even feeling genuine affection, and simultaneously knowing that something about you is not quite here, that you are observing the warmth from behind glass. that you could evaporate from this room and some part of you would feel relief. Not because you do not love these people, you do, but because belonging requires a kind of full presence that you cannot seem to sustain. You are always partly elsewhere. This is the exile's particular loneliness. Not the loneliness of being unloved, but of being unable to arrive in the places where love is offered fully. This is what it feels like to be the guardian of thresholds. A friend calls you at midnight. They are in crisis, real crisis, the kind that could go several different ways depending on what happens in the next few hours. And you are there, fully, holding the phone, holding the space, saying the thing that needs to be said, being the presence that keeps them from falling into the dark. You do this for 3 hours. And when they finally sleep, when the crisis has passed its peak and they're going to be okay, you hang up. And you sit in the silence of your own room. And you realize no one has ever held this kind of space for you. Not because people do not care, but because you do not know how to express it out loud. You are so good at being the threshold that you have forgotten you are also someone who might need to cross. This is the guardian's hidden grief, the ache of perpetual service at the door. These scenes are not metaphors, they are ordinary days. They are the unremarkable texture of INFJ life that no one outside ever quite sees. The moments that accumulate into a way of being that is both gift and weight. And naming them matters, not because naming solves anything, but because the unnamed thing controls you. The named thing becomes something you can hold at arm's length, something you can examine, something you can eventually carry more lightly. You are not imagining it. The way you move through the world is different. The archetypes are not decorations. They are the lived architecture of your consciousness. And when you recognize them not as abstract concepts, but as the specific texture of your days, something shifts. You stop feeling like something is wrong with you. You start feeling like you are participating in patterns that are larger than any individual life. Strange patterns, difficult patterns, but patterns that have names. Patterns that others have carried before you. Patterns you do not have to carry alone. If one of these scenes landed like recognition, like someone describing a room you have stood in 1,000 times, I want to know which one. Tell me in the comments, and if you want to continue exploring this strange territory together, subscribe. This is a place where the texture of the INFJ experience finally gets to be spoken aloud.